Today I want to talk about Keller Williams versus EXP Realty. Let me start with a simple question. If you stopped selling homes tomorrow, would your income stop too? For most real estate agents, even very successful ones, the honest answer is yes. And after more than 30 years in real estate, that question is what made me start looking at the brokerage model differently. Sooner or later, most agents compare two companies. Let's concentrate on Keller Williams and EXP. Both companies have built incredible agents. Both focus on growth, coaching, and leadership. But the financial engines behind them are very different. So instead of debating brands, let's look at three business realities that matter in today's market. Revenue share versus profit share. This is the biggest structural difference. At EXP, the model is called revenue share. If an agent you introduce to the company closes a transaction, you receive a percentage of the commission revenue. That payment happens before the company pays its expenses. It's a top-line distribution. At Keller Williams, the system is called profit share. Profit share is paid after the market center pays for the office lease, staff salaries, utilities, insurance, and operating costs. So if a brokerage or a market center isn't profitable in a given month, there's no profit share distribution. And that's an important distinction in a shifting market. So Keller Williams operates on a franchise office system as well. Many agents love the physical office culture, the training environment, and the community. But it also introduces costs like franchise fees and desk fees, which vary by office. EXP took cloud-based brokerage to a different level. There's no franchise offices and no physical leases to maintain. That means no franchise fees, desk fees, and lower overhead. Agents can work from home, shared offices, coffee shops, or anywhere in the world. So the real question becomes, do you need an office to feel productive? Or do you want location independence and lower overhead? Different agents answer that question differently. Equity versus participation. This is where the model really separates. An EXP Realty agent can earn publicly traded stock in a company. Stock that can be awarded for your first closing of the year, when you cap, and agents you sponsor close their first deal. If you're icon agents, you can even earn your entire cap back in stocks. So whatever you pay to EXP, you can get back in stock. At Keller Williams, the company is privately held. Agents participate in the culture and coaching, but there's no public equity ownership available to individual agents. So one model focuses primarily on production and coaching. The other combines production with equity participation. The bigger question, for many years, Keller Williams is one of the most disruptive companies in real estate. But the interesting question today is, what happens when a disruptive model itself gets disrupted? Because real estate has always moved in waves. And right now we're seeing another wave forming around technology, global scale, and agent ownership. A thought, take a moment and think about what your last 10 or 15 years of production. How many homes did you sell? Now imagine even a small portion of that effort had been rewarded with equity in the company you helped grow. What might that look like today? That's the question that made me take a serious look at the EXP model. Here's something many agents realize that later in their careers. After decades of production, they build an incredible income, but they also build someone else's asset. And that's the conversation that changed how I started looking at brokerage models. The real question, both Keller Williams and EXP have created fantastic agents. The real question is simply this. After 10 or 20 years of production, do you want to participate in a system or own a piece of the company you're helping build? I'm not here to convince anyone to change brokerages. But if you're serious agent thinking about the next 5 or 10 years of your career, it might be worth looking closely at how the EXP model itself is evolving. And if you're curious, I'm always happy to sit down and run a side-by-side comparison of the numbers. No pressure, just a smart business conversation between professionals. My last question, if you could redesign the real estate brokerage model today, what would you change first? This is Annette Denk, and thanks for listening.